Right before actually hopping into Salad House, I was in the car business. I actually did pretty well. I made very good money. So I went there one day and it was like, I like this. Like, I see the busyness. We're on the health kit craze. You can customize salad. You got wraps, sandwiches, kind of do it all. I want to be part of this kind of thing. I would jumped on making half of what I was making in the car business. The build out costs, I mean, everything just seems high these days. The first year we probably did 1.7 off the bat. So we started at doing $4,000 or $5,000 a day and pretty much only went up since there. It's easy, but it's a great concept. That's why I'm there. It's fresh. It's good.
Joe, welcome. Super excited to talk to you. You own 2 Salad House franchises with the third about to open. And I'm excited to dive into your story. So thanks for jumping on, Joe.
You got it. No problem. Happy to be here.
Yes, Joe, let's start off with what were you doing before Salad House and what caused you to say, yeah, I'm going to change careers. I'm going to be a salad guy now.
Right before actually hopping into Salad House, I was in the car business. I actually did pretty well. I made very good money. So like my fiance Chelsea, who's part of Salad House, is, since the pretty much the beginning, is the executive assistant. And they were looking for somebody to kind of go corporate, open up stores, help train staff, stuff like that. So it seemed very interesting. She showed me the store, Salad House. I know kitchens, I know food and stuff like that. So I went there one day and it was like, this, I like this. Like, I'm like, I see the busyness. It's just, we're on the health kit craze. You can customize salads. You got wraps, sandwiches, kind of do it all. And I'm like, this is where it's, like I want I want to be part of this kind of thing. Like, this is, I was there and I was seeing like just how this can work out other places, that kind of thing. And so I just jumped on and like I jumped on making half of what I was making in the car business. Just like say one step back, two steps, it was 4 or 5 steps back, but it was to get into Salad House early. It was a great group of, owners and stuff like that, that I trusted and I liked their vision. So I just jumped in with them and, they treated me always good, stuff like that. So I ran a couple stores as just like a manager, helped train a few stores and, ownership opportunity came and, you kind of got in there, wanted to be an owner and it came faster than expected with the opportunity. So pretty much just
Focusing on numbers, anything you want to share with us on that? Like any startup costs, was that higher or lower than you expected? And then how did your revenue performance compare to how you expected it to be?
Yeah, so I mean the build out costs, I mean, kinda everything just seems high these days. You know what I mean? Like you hear 500,000 to start, but the first year we probably did I think like 1.8, 1.7 off the bat. We lucked out in Towns River. I think a big part of it is we got a good location on like the highway here. It's half a highway, and we got like a huge sign. And that sign was out front for 3 months before we even open. You know what I mean? So we started at doing $4,000 or $5,000 a day. Which a lot of other stores, depends where your location. You might start 2, you get to that 3, you're happy, and then 4, and you want to stay at that 5. Like we started where and pretty much only went up since there, which has been great. My partners and I, we got our money back, and we like to say 2 years. We got a year and a half. You know what I mean? And that's probably being
And
conservative,
that's why you chose to go
keeping
to the
money.
second and
Yeah,
then
like
the third. Yeah.
yeah. So we did probably 1.7. We were probably running at like 18%, 20% that first year. It all depends where we're at with the economy and stuff. It's a big, chicken. Chicken was just all summer. I'm paying $132 a case, so now it's $75 a case, and I'm ordering 18 a week. So that will mess up your numbers a little bit. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
I mean, the revenue's obviously there. How do we keep our costs down, specifically labor, cost of goods? Is there any advice that you have from the operational side? Keeping waste down, keeping, and protecting your profit margin.
Yeah, you just got to stay on top of staff. For like profit wise, my tell all my guys like the name of the game is like having nothing left at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I want no chicken left on the end of the day. Everything's supposed to be fresh, that kind of thing. So it's just don't prep too much because you prep too. You cut those. That you have an extra case of romaine and you cut that. That's gonna go brown overnight and you got to throw it out. Getting that fresh produce every day it actually is, it's a pain. You got to put an order in every day, but that helps you kind of save because you order what just from one day, and you're not just having stuff there 3, 4 days go bad, over ordering, that kind of thing. So that helps. Staff wise, staffing is the hardest part. Um, you don't want to work you don't want to work them to death, but at the same time, they want hours. You know what I mean? So like, and a lot of people have families and this and that. So like, staffing's hard to part, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. People are here to work. You know what I mean? So you work, but you don't want to overwork them. You gotta stay busy. And you just gotta work smart and do things. And
So that's something that you know because you have restaurant experience. I don't have a ton of restaurant experience.
sure.
What experience do you feel like is needed for someone to be successful? Is it just business experience or no, they also need restaurant experience? How simple or complex are the operations?
See, I don't think you don't necessarily need restaurant experience. I think it obviously helps big time. Um, I think I was in a good spot where I did the restaurant business where I was in the kitchen, but I also was a food runner. Worked the front house pizzeria, so I kind of got the both front and house, front of house and back of house thing kind of down. Uh, I like my big thing, which I think why my stores do very good, is my food quality. You just gotta stay on top,
Yeah,
and I think food quality is the most important part. Salad house does a good job of, staff will get sent to different salad houses a few weeks before and learn the whole salad house way, so they should know from working at other places how things are done. The operators can go to each
mhm,
stores. They're also there with you for a few weeks, a month after, just kinda staying on top of things. They're always a phone call away if you do need anything, any questions, a text message, stuff like that. So their salad house is very, very good when it comes to that kind of thing. Um, how you should know what the chick I mean, you should, like, you should know how it came, when Salad House did show you. The hardest part is, like, I've been to kitchens where I turned it all around, trained that whole staff, but 3, 4 months go by, this person
you have
leaves, that person this
yep,
person leaves, that person leaves, and then, they're back, so, like, you have to just stay on them in that aspect and know, like, "Hey, this is how we did it here," and it's very routine, it's
yep,
same thing every day, you know what I
yeah.
mean? You're cooking the same, so it's just nothing should be different. Consistency is key. That's literally what it is. Like, my salad house here tastes the same as the salad house in Manahawkin. That should taste the same as the salad house and, Ridgewood that I have no part of. You
You're
know what I
right,
mean?
right. Yep. Because everybody's following the process, which is really the beauty of franchising. And it looks like you're taking advantage of that because you jumped into your first store. You're like, wow, we're making millions here. Let's jump into the second store. And now you're on your third. Walk us through your life, like your day to day or slash lifestyle changes. What does it look like when you're just managing one store? And how do you step back enough to open up your second and then do it again to now search for your third?
So before I got into owning the first one, I got lucky where I opened up the Ridgewood store as just like corporate. The owner, who was a very nice guy, was kind of running with opening up, but didn't have an operator kind of lined up. So like I was like training people, and they're like, "Hey, you want this opportunity?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I jumped on there. So that really helped me out being an owner. Opening up this was technically like opening up my second one, but with some ownership in it. But again, like I said in the beginning, that was hard, long hours, you know, every day, until it start. You see it and you feel good. You can just you get that first night off. You know what I mean? Then eventually you take Sundays. We're only on Sundays are slowest day, which is we're kind of opposite from other like a pizzeria. We're more dead on the weekends because you don't, people eat good during the week and kind of have a cheat day in the weekend. So like Sunday, we're only open like 11 to 4. It's a good day. It's like, all right, I'm Sundays off. I'll go 9 to 9, Monday to Friday, coming Saturday, but like at least I'll get my Sundays off. And then you just you go from there and you, like I said earlier again, just put more trust in people. And then when you go to two, it's kind of like I have 2 order days. Mondays and Thursdays are my order days. So it's kind of just like my bounce around days. And then I'll work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at one of the stores, maybe a Saturday, and kind of just balance it out. I live in Toms River, so it's easy to like go in Manahawkin but still show face every day, either whether it's in the morning, hop in there, talk to the staff, at 9 to 10, 10:30, then take the half-hour drive into Manahawkin, just, the work the lunch rush. So it helps me that I live in town with Toms River. Um, Now with the third, like I said, it's the same as the first. Like it's now you got them both kind of running, and on the third, that's gonna go. I'm probably gonna have someone kind of help me, some, kind of right hand manish kind of thing where, hey, I need you here, I need you there. Can you go do the order there? Stuff like that. And
Which you
like
can finally
also,
afford, right? Because now
yeah,
you have income from 3 stores, and that's the issue, is like, how do I step out? Because I need to be in the store because I need to keep my costs down, but
exactly.
if you just follow, I mean, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're grinding, your 12-hour days till you figure it out. Then you're replacing yourself to the point that you could go open up the second store, and you're just repeating the process and then do a third time, and now that you're on your third store with revenue for, 2 and now almost a third store, you can afford somebody else to step in. And every time you
Yeah.
do that, you're insulating yourself, right? You're building more layers between you and your, let's call it an entry level employee. So if that entry level employee calls in sick, there's more managers and assistant managers and regional managers that will step in. So you're not taking those, you're not fulfilling the shift.
So I'm getting better at just like putting more faith in my employees. Like there's got to be days where so we have order days for our food, like our main a lot of our food products Mondays and Thursdays, Monday for Tuesday, Thursday for Friday. So, and then you have weekly reports, you know what I mean, to my partners and stuff like that. So like I learned like taught people at both stores the orders and stuff like that, which I always did, but now I'm like starting to give it to them. But for Mondays, I care. You sure you do it, but Thursdays, I kind of like make sure that's the day I hit it because Thursdays I could kind of if like they like ordering. A lot of times they like ordering. Oh, we don't have this. Let's order that. Like we can get by. You know what I mean? To that weekly, you know what I mean? So I like making sure Thursday's like my tidy up day. Where like, yeah, we definitely don't need this. We don't need that. So I make sure I do that final order of the week just to make sure numbers are in line, things like that. But going for the third store, I'm gonna need I'll probably need another hand
You're gonna
because
need,
there's
yeah, you're
just
gonna need to hand off that
yeah.
ordering day, man.
Exactly.
That's
So
the
I
day.
I kind of have it all figured. I'm still kind of game planning it, stuff like that. But um, yeah, I just gotta have more. You just gotta have trust people. Just help me a lot. Like and the more I give people responsibility, it's easier on me.
Yeah, and you're in the position now that you're like, "Cool, I have ownership, and I'm opening up more stores," that hopefully you have a little bit more time if you need a little bit more time.
Yeah,
And I also think like what you're hitting on with putting trust into employees, that's a huge part of business and like a huge part of the emotional or the rewarding side of like developing people underneath you and having them grow as well. And you're like, oh, cool, this
yeah,
person started behind the counter, now they're a manager, now they're managing 2 stores or something like that,
yeah.
which I think is really cool. Joe, last question for you. If you're talking to somebody who's on the fence, they want a franchise and they're considering whether to franchise a salad house or something else, what would you tell them? What are the pros and cons? Who's the concept good at or slash bad for?
Yeah, so they're on I would say, go for it. I mean, it's the franchise is great. Like as a salad house as a whole, uh, just the whole concept of it, it's just fresh produce daily, fresh made protein. So you order salmon that's going on the grill, you order steak that's going on the grill. Nothing's really sitting. Um, it's just we have wraps, sandwiches, grain bowls, appetizers, soups. Some places have smoothies. We call it a food for all. It's where we're at. Some of these other places, some of these other franchises out there who've done well for years are kind of fading away just because of I feel like a lot of places are going back to like the mom and pop kind of thing. Say like Mexican cuisine, for example. Like I feel there's a lot more mom and pops mom and pop stores where like, they open up their own store and they're selling legit authentic Mexican food where like 15 years ago, where salad house is just you you know I just this whole interview I talked about how much I work and stuff like that. My Sunday off, or if I do happen to have a day off during the week where I have a meeting or something like that, like I miss Salad House. People ask me, am I sick of the food? I'm like, no, because like I could have this salad, that wrap, chicken, steak, this. Like I don't know anywhere else to go to get a good meal. Like I really, unless it's like,
What
you're going to
Yeah.
some pizzeria and you're getting, then you have to go in there, get a salad, which like pizzerias don't make anything easy. Here we got the apps. You just order from the app. You walk in, it's delivered. You can walk in, pick it on the shelf. It's delivered to you. You know what I mean? We literally, it's easy, but it's a great concept. It's Like, that's why I'm there. It's fresh,
I
it's
love it.
good, and plus
Huge
you know,
impact on the community, on, like, giving them, yeah, that fresh, healthy food, and then when a business does 1.7 million in the first year, you can't complain that much, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
No matter those 12-hour days, you're just like,
That's
"Hey."
why, you know, in the beginning, I was looking for partners, now I got partners left and right who all
Yeah,
want
yeah,
in,
you're
you
like,
know,
"Partners are looking for
yeah.
me." I mean,
Yeah,
you're such a valuable asset of, like, knowing how to run such a great system, and now you're going on your 3rd store, but it's really gonna be your 4th overall store, right? So the experience
yeah,
is awesome. So,
yeah,
anyways, Joe, this was awesome. I really appreciate your time, and congrats on your expansion, and good luck going
yeah.
forward.
Oh, thank you, man, I appreciate it, this was great.